Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of UnrealEntGaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
And so as our story continues with our heroes now finding themselves in going from one bad situation to another, it would only now seem as though our beloved heroes may have in fact bitten off far more than they could chew, because as Goku, Broly, and Vegeta all now find themselves entangled in a very interesting situation within Universe 17, if they aren't careful and approach with extreme caution with where they are, then I'm afraid they may indeed find themselves in a battle against its destroyer, who is simply on a far greater level than they ever could have hoped for him to be.
As our story now opens up following the initial events of Universe 16's God of Destruction Ferrix having to do battle against Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, to which upon with the God of Destruction now shown taking the lead as our heroes went on to closely follow behind was when Goku then went on to chime in. You know, I know we kinda started off on the wrong foot a little earlier, but you're actually not quite bad compared to some of those other Gods of Destruction, and not to mention that you're freakishly strong as well, and so I'm glad that we could all just get along now, you know, with Angel Rizal responding, well now, do you hear that, Lord Ferrix? It would seem as though you may have made a new friend here today, with Ferrix responding, do not be fooled by this offering of breaking bread as a sign of friendship, Saiyan, for I will be the first one to go and tell you here and now that I am by no means your ally, nor am I anything close to being your friend, Ferrix continues, and what was done was only done, all in the name of rites to passage, with Vegeta then having to chime in, oh there, now what did I say? These destroyers are not your friends, nor do they even care about being your friend, Kakarot. What an idiot. And so now get it together, with Goku responding, yeah, but at least we're not fighting anymore, you know, and plus, I don't know about how much longer I can go without putting some food inside of my stomach, so, and I think that we can all agree that it's better for us to go and eat first before we start being so harsh towards one another, because I know you're hungry too, Vegeta. Come now, Rizal, Ferrix went on to then point out, go and serve us all a table for us to eat while we discuss a few important matters at hand in the meantime. Nah, yes, but of course, just give me one moment then and I will prepare us all a feast that will surely be one for us all to enjoy here today, Lord Ferrix. And so alrighty then, if you mortals would just give me 1 second, and I would hereby like to welcome you all to feast upon Universe 16's most delightful and tasty meals, Rizal says. All of course courtesy of Universe 16's God of Destruction, Lord Ferrix. And so what do you think? With Goku responding, hey, wow, just look at how amazing all of this looks, Broly. You guys are all seriously the best for this, and there's so much here for us to choose from too. And so what do you say, Lord Ferrix? Are we allowed to sit down yet and dig in, or what? Goku questions. Cause not for nothing, but we're starving here, with Ferrix responding, yes, by all means, for I am very eager to talk to you all about a few things myself, and so why don't you have a seat? To which not long after that, as everyone was then shown having to eat, with Vegeta being the first to question Lord Ferrix, was when Vegeta then went on to respond, alright, and so now tell us something. While attempting to find our way out of this window realm that you went and threw us both into, I happened to have stumbled across an alternate version of myself that those Veer referred to as Mastered Ultra Ego Vegeta, and it was within a timeline that was said to be vastly different than the one that we are currently in, and so what exactly exactly were we looking at in there, and is it possible for us to interact with such realms? With Goku then having to chime in, "Oh yeah, I'm also a little curious about what it was that we saw, because I was able to see into an alternate future where Goku Black was resurrected, and to make matters worse, he was also shown having to bear 2 new forms, as well as even looking into a timeline where I strangely had a third son who was part Saiyan and part Kaioshin that went by the name of Zycor or Zykior or something like that," with Ferrix responding, "Though it is extremely prohibited to have any other living being outside of the Omni King and Grand Minister intervene and interact with the annals of these realities, unless an event were to be called on their behalf, then you are never to cross over into such realms or ever go as far as to interact with them," Ferrix continues. "So consider these alternate worlds which the two of you have seen as small pages that are attached to a much, much larger book. Separate dimensions within an entirely different multiverse, if you will, for each dimension is shaped by each of the different sets of choices that you all had to make that allowed for you to go and see as to what it was that you both saw. And while these realities run parallel to our own," Ferrix adds, "they are also isolated by a completely different set of laws and are governed by their own unique paradoxes," Ferrix continues, "as only the Omni King and Grand Minister are able to fully interact with and have access to such places, and as I'm sure that the worlds in which the both of you have looked into were more than likely worlds to which the outcome of every action you had made or didn't make had ultimately led to them." Whoa, wait, so if these realities and alternate worlds are all supposed to take place within their own timelines and multiverse, then does that mean that there exists a multiverse that is outside of this multiverse, Goku questions? Because from the sound of it, if these realities and worlds are all supposed to just operate and be governed by their own unique paradoxes, then how many more multiverses are truly out there that exist that go beyond this one? With Ferrix responding, "Well, if you truly want to know, then yes, there is indeed another multiverse beyond our own. In fact, there exists more than just one, an omniverse, which is a grand construct that encompasses multiple multiverses, each with its own unique set of worlds and timelines, as within this omniverse, the possibilities are endless, as there are also likely versions of you all who are either relative in power, weaker, or even stronger than you all as well. But since I went and answered one of your questions, now it's time that you go and answer one of mine as well, beginning with that one there, this Broly. Now, how come this Saiyan mortal was never trained by the likes of Whis or Beerus if the two of you have each gone as far as to train under them all on your own?" Ferrix questions. "And why is this Saiyan's raw battle power far more unusual when entering into this berserker state when compared to the power in which you both wield? Because I'm sure that you both know that if it were not for him, then you never would have overtaken me in battle when you did, and so now do tell." Well, the choice for Kakarot and I to train Broly initially was based on his need to understand foundational training first, Vegeta responds, as they also went and noticed his lack of control as well. And so now our role is to help him harness and refine his power before advanced techniques can be taught and furthermore having to be applied onto him, as the reason on why Broly's power is vastly different than our own is likely because I think that Broly's full-powered Super Saiyan form just might be the original legendary form from our Saiyan history, which sets his power apart from our own, Vegeta says. And so because of this, he hasn't fully come around to control this power just yet, with Ferrix chiming back in, "Interesting, and so then that would ultimately mean that if this inexperienced warrior is able to match you both given his lack of control over this legendary strength, then that just means that if he were to grow and control this power along with evolving it, then that just ultimately means that he would become vastly more powerful than either of you despite wielding the power of a god while in its infancy stages. How fascinating. So tell me, does your god of destruction know of this mortal's latent potential as well?" Ferrix continues, "as I'm sure that housing 3 supremely gifted warriors with each wielding a set of remarkable and powerful levels of strength wouldn't be something that your destroyer would take too kindly of, now does he?" With Goku then having to chime in, "Well, actually, according to Lord Beerus, he's hoping that one of us could one day completely surpass him in power, so that way he could finally have a rival for him to battle whenever he is bored, or at least that's what he says to us after all. And about this omniverse that you spoke of," Vegeta went on to then quickly respond back in, "tell me, what happens if someone were to try and traverse into these timelines that me and Kakarot had seen? And is there any other way to know exactly on just how many timelines, realities, and paradoxes are there? With Ferrix responding, if the Grand Minister or any of the Omni Kings were to learn of anyone intertwining themselves or engaging with such constructs without proper approval, then they along with their entire universe would be wiped out immediately. But what I would like to also know are two things, Ferrix continues. The first being on what you both intend to do with your god-wielding powers after you have evolved them, Goku and Vegeta, and with the second being is if Broly here were to somehow control this anomalous power of his and potentially evolve it, then what would that mean for the two of you? Would this ultimately mean that you would no longer be Universe 7's mightiest warriors? With Vegeta quickly responding, well, Lord Beerus continues to insist for one of us to take the role of being Universe 7's God of Destruction, which neither of us are interested in to begin with, and so my goal is simple, and that is to be the very best, Vegeta continues, which also ties into your second question, because if that were to be the case with Broly, Vegeta adds, then that wouldn't automatically rule me out of the equation just because he was able to evolve himself, Destroyer, for there is still so much more that is left for Broly to go and do and achieve before he is able to surpass us in battle, and so he still has a very long way to go before he is able to understand his dormant power, Vegeta continues, and so I'm not going to just go and jump to conclusions and say that he'd surpass us, and that's only because he hasn't at the moment. And so whether he decides to go and train with either Whis or Lord Beerus after the fact would solely and entirely be up for him to decide. But then, it was suddenly now from out of nowhere with an arm shown having to extend on down and grabbing onto Broly's hamburger was when Goku then went on to quickly chime back in. Hey, just what in the world? Is that an arm? And just where the heck did that just burst out from? Ah yes, there we are now, and so I will be taking this, thank you very much, Angel Jinrei went on to then quickly chime in. And as I was right to assume that this delicious smell was coming from Universe 16, oh, I remember you. Yes, you're one of the ones that I've seen on Lord Beerus's planet. Well, how convenient then, isn't it? With Broly then shockingly having to respond, hey, what are you doing? That's mine! Well, not anymore, it's not, but don't you worry, as I'll make sure that these go into the right hands from the moment I go back, Jinrei responds, to which it was only seconds then as Jinrei was then shown having to grab onto the entirety of the cloth on the table and pull all of the food off of it was when Broly then went on to quickly lunge by shouting, no you will not! Those meals belong to Broly, not you! Whoa, Vegeta, we've got to hurry and grab onto him before he gets pulled in! With Vegeta responding, oh, damn it, hurry! Are you even pulling or what, Kakarot? We won't be able to hold Broly at bay here with us like this because Broly's starting to lose more and more ground, with Goku responding, oh, it's no use! We're going to be pulled right in! To which as Broly, Goku, and Vegeta were then shown getting pulled into Universe 17 was when Angel Rizal then went on to respond, oh dear, well there goes our lunch I suppose, and here I was actually starting to really enjoy the meals that I went and brought here as well. Oh well, what a shame, and very unexpected too, with Ferrix having to then chime in, and what a shame it was. Oh well, but at least now I am better able to understand these creatures along with how they operate, and so I've held up my side of the deal by doing what it was that I promised that I needed to go and do, with Rizal then having to respond, nice see, and so after I'm done cleaning up here, shall I go and get the mortals out of Universe 17 then, so that you may go and continue to ask them on whatever it is that you wish to know, Lord Ferrix? No, because as far as I'm concerned, Ferrix responds, they are all Grizzlor's problem to deal with now, but even now while they're all gone, I can see exactly as to why Beerus had approved for these mortals to be within his presence, and that is because I can see a lot of what is reflective of Beerus and his angel within Goku and Vegeta as well. To which all the while in the meantime, as Broly, Goku, and Vegeta were now shown having to crash land within Universe 17 was when Goku then went on to quickly utter, I'll watch it! Oh gosh, see, I knew that this was going to end up happening because whatever kind of force that was pulling us deeper and deeper into that portal was just simply too strong for either of us to gain control of. Oh, then just what gives here? Vegeta then went on to quickly shout upon noticing the angel walk into a cave. The nerve of that bastard to just go and snatch our meals away right as we were about to finish too. Well, now he has my attention. Wait, why does he look so familiar? Goku then went on to quickly chime in. I know I've I've seen that face of his before, but I can't seem to remember as to where. Oh well, wherever it is that I remember him from, we've got to be on guard at all times just in case, you guys, as Vegeta went on to then chime back in. No, I'm done playing these games and demand to know on why he did what he just did right now. To which in the meantime, deeper within the darkness of the cave that the angel was then shown going into was when Angel General then went on to respond. And so now there you are, my lord, for I think that you will find these meals to be quite delicious given how I was able to pull this right out of Universe 16 for you. And so I do hope that you go and enjoy. Hey! Goku then went on to shout from behind, what's the big idea here, huh? We were right in the middle of eating, you know, and just so you know in case you've missed it, we can all still clearly see you in there, and so now give us back the food that you have stolen from us because we weren't done eating. And just who is making all of that noise, Jinrail? With Jinrail responding, interesting, for we have visitors, my lord. As this was most definitely something that I did not see happening, but now that they are all here, let's go and see on what it is that they want and why they are here. With Vegeta being shown having to then question, you were on Lord Beerus's world when I was waging my battle against Universe 14's God of Destruction Cobras, right? So now tell me, was this another one of those angels that was reactivated upon their universe and God of Destruction being brought back into existence, or what, Kakarot? Well, actually, yeah, it was, but I'm really not sure on what to make of this angel or his God of Destruction since we really didn't have the chance to interact on Lord Beerus's planet when they first arrived, but yeah, he's most definitely one of them, that much I can tell you. As Angel General then went on to step on out of the cave by then responding, my oh my, and here I thought that I had managed to close off the portal behind me just before either one of you were actually shown able to make it on over and onto the other side, but yet here we all are. But nevertheless, welcome to Universe 17, mortals. And since the three of you are already here, what do you say we go and skip the small talk right away then, shall we? And so why don't you all go and start by first telling me as to what it is that brings you here, because without proper approval, well, you mortals aren't even allowed to be within this world. And so what is it that I may go and assist you with, so that way you may all go and take your leave? As Vegeta then went on to quickly shout, then just who in the hell do you think you are to just burst onto the scene the way you did, and for you to just revoke our celebratory meal, Angel? And so now why did you do it? And you better start talking, because it's been a very long few days for us and we aren't looking to make it any longer than we should. And so now start talking. With Angel General responding, well, I will say that your arrival was rather conspicuous with all of that loud and demanding behavior for answers that you displayed, but let me go and address your concerns so that way I can put you all at ease. For you see, the reason that I had went and snatched the food right from underneath your table was simply because I was instructed to do so, as it also seems as though that you three were just in the wrong place at the absolute wrong time. However, if you just so happen to have any issues with my actions or what it was that I was sent out to do, well then you can gladly go and take them up with Lord Grizzlor instead, as maybe he might have some of the answers to which you are looking for, but I doubt that to be the case because, well, judging based from what I can remember, 2 out of the 3 of you were on Lord Beerus's planet during the battle with Lord Reno, now weren't you? Of course, yes, which only then means that you 3 must be his mortals, aren't you? Oh, as I'm sure that Lord Grizzlor would especially take interest if it's Beerus's mortals whom are going around and making a fuss of things, and so please, right this way if you wish. And so now let me see if I can assist you. Lord Grizzlor, my apologies for interrupting you, Lord Grizzlor, but I do believe that one of our visitors here would like to have a word with you. As Goku then went on to chime in, hey Vegeta, wait, I don't think that this is going to be such a good idea here, especially not after having to battle against Lord Enough, for I don't care about where we are or who this so-called destroyer thinks he is. The fact that he went out of his way to go and directly start a fight with us says enough, and so now where is this beast hiding? Come on out of the dark, destroyer! To which, as Vegeta was then shown making his way towards the cave entrance, was when Grizzlor then went on to respond, who dares to call upon my presence before them and disturb me while devouring these tasty treats in order to satisfy my hunger? longer. For the stench that I smell that is coming from outside of this cave is revolting, Grizzlor went on to step out from the shadows by continuing. But if my presence is that important for you to go and call me out on, then you better go and make it a good one while you're here, because I was in the middle of preparing for my long slumber by feasting upon the goods which Jinrail had brought me so that I may fortify my strength, and so by interrupting me with such remarks, I just want you to know this, that your insolence will be met with severe consequences, for I will break your bones into dozens of pieces and eradicate your soul if my time is wasted. And so now, was it you? No, for there are in fact 3 of you that are here, and now I want to know on why, because I sure as hell do know that it wasn't me who approved of you mortals having to be here on my planet. And so now, who are these mortals, Jinrei, and why is it that these 2 look extremely familiar back there? With Jinrei having to respond, well, that's because you've seen those 2 mortal warriors before, Lord Grizzlor, as they are all from Beerus's universe, who were, well, unfortunately caught and pulled within the very moment upon having me deliver your meal to you, my lord, with Grizzlor being shown having to turn his back by responding, Beerus's cronies, don't make me laugh with such ridiculous banter, Jinrei. And so now, where was I? Ah yes, fish, for I require more fish, Jinrei, and make it quick, as Vegeta then went on to quickly respond, you've got to be kidding me here. And just why do all of these newly resurrected gods of destruction have to go and pick a fight with us for? Every single time, but that does it, because I am tired of having to go through such disrespect. Oh no, you don't, and just where do you think you're going? Vegeta went on to then dash towards Grizzlor by shouting, don't you ever go and turn your back to me when I'm talking to, don't even think about wasting my time. Grizzlor went on to then quickly respond upon being shown backhanding Vegeta across the face, for you aren't even worthy enough to be a snack, let alone a challenge for me. Vegeta went on to then crash into Goku as Grizzlor continues, and just like your puny excuse for a god of destruction, you never will be, and so now know your place and don't touch me. How dare you, Vegeta responds, to know my place and to not go and touch you, huh? Hey, Vegeta, I think that we should all just go and calm down here a bit before we, but then, it was only right then and there now from out of nowhere as Vegeta was then shown having to fire an energy blast directly at Grizzlor was when Vegeta then went on to continue, well, so be it then, because I'm not going to touch you, but instead, I'm going to blast you into pieces, Destroyer. But it was only just upon with Grizzlor being shown sticking his arm out and catching onto Vegeta's blast was when Grizzlor then went on to respond, you should have watched your tone and the way you went about by approaching me, because now you have my attention. With Vegeta responding, he caught it. Vegeta, did you just feel that sudden burst of power that was coming from him now just too? Because this doesn't look like it's about to end well, as Grizzlor went on to then continue, even though I am nearing my hibernation, I still have a debt to settle with that cowardly god of destruction of yours. However, since he isn't here, then you 3 are the next best thing before I go into my long-awaited slumber, and so you will all have to do for now. As long ago, it was your god of destruction who went and had stolen my lunch for me when we were all in the middle of our hide-and-go-seek game, Grizzlor continues, and since Beerus had once taken what was mine in order for him to feed his own ego, now I will exact my revenge on the 3 of you on his behalf, so that way he could know the pain that I felt after catching him with my meal. And since I do not have the time, nor do I have the interest in caring about what it is that you do or how hard it is that you try, because of what your destroyer did all those years ago, I will now take every bit of my anger out on the 3 of you that I have deep within me, so that way I could go and forever give him a painful reminder on exactly why he was always so extremely nervous to be around me, as it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the Resurrected Fallen Gods of Destruction, the Universe 17 Saga Manga Chapter number 1 special then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing, because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now, I will go as far as to say that even though this entire situation between our heroes and Lord Grizzlor appears to be a dangerous one, the last thing that our heroes want to go and do is find themselves locked in yet another battle against a far more powerful god of destruction this time around. And now that our heroes appear to have Lord Grizzlor's attention, you do not want to miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video. As before you leave, do make sure to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as subscribing to UnrealEntGaming's channel in case you are new around here. We thank you all for watching and hope you all have a wonderful day, everyone, as we'll see you all in the next one.
Hello! Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to UnrealEntGaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi!
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.